There was nothing else at all in the whole world but football.
Hi guys, good evening to you all. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. My name is Simon Price and welcome to the Triple F for a prediction and reaction video. Tonight I'm going to be trying my best to predict the score between Celtic and AZ Alkmaar. Celtic are going to be playing away. It's in the Europa League qualifier, I believe. I'm just going to check that up as I'm saying that. I think it's a Europa League qualifier. But anyway, it's a second leg. Celtic have a 2-0 lead. And I'm going to go with Celtic to win this. I think they're going to win it. I'm going to go with 3-1 to Celtic. I think they're going to win it quite comfortably tonight. So that would make it 5-1 on aggregate. I think AZ Alkmaar, they're not quite as strong as they used to be over the last few years. I'm not exactly entirely sure why, because they've still got decent players. Tone Koopmeiners is a really brilliant player, and I'm surprised he's still at AZ Alkmaar, to be honest. But yeah, they're gonna nick one goal, but I don't think they'll cause them too much of a problem. And I just think Celtic are just on such a roll at the moment that it's going to be almost impossible for Alkmaar to sort of keep up with them. One of the things that's really impressed me is just how Ange Postecoglou has really got this enthusiasm and motivation and momentum really inspired into the players, and I think it's really rubbed off on the fans as well. I can notice, and I've seen a lot of the fan base are just absolutely in awe of what he's built there at the moment. It's fantastic to see, because I think there was a lot of uncertainty and a lot of worry, in a sense, that they just weren't sure what this guy was going to do. I mean, he was very much an unknown entity when he came into the club. So, I mean, obviously a lot of people were expecting Eddie Howe to come in and be the manager, but Ange Postecoglou was made the guy, and I think everyone pretty much at the time, almost similar to when Arsene Wenger was appointed, everyone kind of thought Ange who? Ange Postacog who, should they have said. But it's been fantastic, and I think this isn't just a sort of lucky start. I think this is clearly a sign of great things to come. And what I was quite surprised with, actually, is how Celtic have fielded out a fantastic side, a strong 11, possibly their first 11. So I think that's possibly why I'm going with that 3-1 prediction. And that's something that I think just really epitomises Postecoglou's positive outlook and his positive just willingness to try and win as much as he possibly can, but also to put on an entertaining display, and that's why we have such an attacking starting lineup as we do tonight. So we've got Furuhashi, who I think has been amazing, and he's been a player that has caused a lot of excitement. Somebody that I looked at, I've wondered how good he would be coming from the J League, but he's been absolutely brilliant. And then you've got Ryan Christie and Leo Labado, another player, another signing over the summer that's just come and absolutely hit the ground running. So I think that's really why Postecoglou's got off to a great start as well, because two of his main transfers have just done exactly what he would have hoped for the most, and they've just, absolutely hit the ground running, like I've said. And then you've got a midfield of Turnbull, McGregor and Rogic, guys that have been at the club for a long time, but possibly with Rogic, you could argue that his time was, he was having a bit of a difficult time, but perhaps with them, with Rogic and Postecoglou both being Australian, maybe there's that connection there that's definitely helped Rogic to regain some form, and he's definitely back on it at the moment, and that's great to see. And then we've got a back four of Taylor, Welsh, Starfelt and Ralston, and Starfelt has been a little bit found out at times, and he's a little bit slow and off the pace a bit, but I think maybe it could just be a case of being rusty, because I think the last game or so he's been a bit better and a lot better, so maybe it's just him trying to find his feet. But Welsh has been fantastic, and I think Welsh will possibly help Starfelt to get up to the pace of things. But one signing that I was a little bit unsure about, and I wasn't too sure how well he would get on, and that was Joe Hart. But my goodness, he's been absolutely fantastic. I know it's extremely early doors, and it's a bit too early to say, and it's possibly too early to say on any of the aspects of Celtic, possibly too early to say on the management side of things as well. But even with Joe Hart, you'd have to say that it's what a fantastic signing it's been. I think they had such troubles with the goalkeeper, and unfortunately Barkas was just absolutely terrible with hands of toffee. But Joe Hart has been absolutely brilliant in comparison to that, and it just shows what a solid pair of hands and just a top quality experienced goalkeeper can do to a side, because I think he's been one of the reasons why their form has just completely transformed. But yeah, I'm just looking tonight. I think this is a qualifier. Yes, so it is a Europa League playoff qualifier. So yeah, obviously whoever wins that will enter into the competition. Obviously Celtic weren't able to get through to the Champions League, so then they dropped down into the Europa League to make it in that way. So yeah, it's going to be a great game. I'm still going to go with 3-1. There were times where I thought 2-2, but what sort of made me change my mind on that is I'm not sure Alkmaar are firing on all cylinders as much as they'd like to be. So and defensively, I think Celtic are really improving, and I think they'll more or less shut them out. I think Alkmaar, because of the home advantage, they'll possibly nick that goal. But yeah, I think it'll be a decent game nonetheless. I'm really excited to see it. And yeah, long may it continue. Thanks again, guys. Hope you are all enjoying what's coming out from the Triple F. And yeah, I hope you enjoy tonight. And I will see you again on the reaction side of things. Thanks again. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi guys, just giving you my reaction to the Europa League qualifier between AZ Alkmaar and Celtic on Thursday. And from Celtic's point of view, it wasn't a great game, but I would also have to say from AZ Alkmaar's point of view, it was a disappointing one, because I think it was an opportunity missed for them. I think Celtic were there for the taking. Defensively, Celtic were all over the place, and I will get into that. But I would just say from Alkmaar's point of view, my goodness, there was so many opportunities they had to actually bury it, and they just weren't able to do it. But yeah, by the skin of their teeth, Celtic managed to just get through, and I think that goal from Kyogo just proved to be absolutely vital. And I think without that goal, well, obviously without that goal, they just wouldn't have got through. It would have gone to extra time. Maybe Celtic would have had enough, but it just looked like after those 2 goals were conceded, it looked like Celtic were just holding on. So luckily they managed to do that. And just in terms of those mistakes, I think, you could kind of argue that perhaps Ange Postecoglou, his all-out attack, is possibly a reason to perhaps think about another option, because I think that sort of all-out attack that he opts for all the time leaves a hell of a lot of holes in their defence, and it leaves them very vulnerable. So I think that's something that they need to think about. Is there another way that they can approach games, just to realise that, we are going to leave ourselves open a bit more. We need to be able to, shut the door behind us and not allow teams to hammer us like Alkmaar did on Thursday, because I think that's what Alkmaar did. I think Alkmaar saw where Celtic's biggest weakness is, and they targeted it massively. And like I said, I think they were quite unfortunate that they weren't able to take those opportunities fully. Carl Starfelt had a game to forget, and in all honesty, that's not the first game that he's had to forget for Celtic. It's not been the best of starts to his Celtic career, but I've been seeing him getting a lot of slack from Celtic fans online and other football fans, and to be honest, he has been poor, but maybe he can improve. I don't know. He's sort of kind of been thrown into the thick of things, and it's going to take a little bit of time for him to get adjusted to life in Scotland, get adjusted to the speed of the SFL. Perhaps it's just going to take him a little bit of time. And I would say that a lot of those blunders that were made on Thursday weren't just he did make the biggest one, and it was a terrible blunder. But there was a lot of blunders made, and I think the one it was basically between Welsh and Joe Hart, and I think Joe Hart is getting most of the flack for that. But for me, I think Welsh should get most of the flack for that, because just waiting for Hart to come collect the ball when the ball was miles away from where the keeper, or where you should expect a keeper to be. And I think it was just a shocking example of communication. You need much better communication between the back line and the goalkeeper, and it just wasn't there. But yeah, hopefully Starfelt's going to improve his game going forward, because he really needs to get better. He really needs to improve, especially with a massive game on the horizon on Sunday. They really need Starfelt to sort himself out. So hopefully that will happen, or perhaps they might even think we need to bring in another defender, just to shore things up a bit, because it's not quite working with Starfelt at the moment. It was fantastic to see Kyogo get another goal, and I was really a little bit concerned how he would kind of react after that racist kind of incident he was at the hands of from the despicable Rangers fans, those two that were involved in that, and it was just, it was terrible to see. But it was really good to see him get a goal, and he's clearly got over that, and he's clearly not been affected by the stupidity that we saw over the week. So yeah, I'm really, really happy for him. And it must be hard for players to suffer racism in any sort of aspects, especially the amounts of racism that some of these players receive, because I'm pretty sure if he's on Twitter or other forms, I don't think what we saw with those two fellas on the train isn't going to be the only crap that man receives, because a lot of footballers, they get a lot of crap, and it's terrible. I mean, me personally, I've had a minor incident of racism when I was younger, and to this day, it still plays on my mind a little bit. I still have it in the back of my mind. It still affects me from time to time. It affects my confidence. It affects my social aspect on things. So for players to receive that on a regular basis, and to get stuff that's a lot more just vile compared to what I had when I was younger, I just can't comprehend, and I can't imagine how absolutely shit it is for some of these players to endure. But so my heart goes out to Kyogo, and really glad to see him get over the line, and I'm really glad to see where he's going to go in a Celtic shirt, because he's already cementing himself as a bit of a legend. It's great to see. I think for Sunday he's going to be absolutely buzzing, and I'm hoping he's going to impress the green and white side of Glasgow. Although they lost, I think the fact that they qualified will give them motivation going into Sunday's Old Firm clash. I think Rangers had pretty much the same over in their game, because I think they drew, but because they won the previous game, winning sort of 1-0 on aggregate, it was a kind of skin of the teeth ordeal for them as well. So it'll be interesting to see, because I think this game on Sunday, both teams look about as equal as they ever have done in terms of sort of momentum and defensive frailty. So it'll be really, really interesting to see how it pans out. But I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out, definitely watching it, and I think it's going to be a cracker. So anyway, guys, thanks again for listening. Unfortunately, my prediction of 3-1 to Celtic didn't come good. They lost 2-1, but they did manage to win the tie 3-2, would it have been? Yes, 3-2 on aggregate. So yeah, they did what they needed to do, and that's great for them. Thanks again, guys. All the best. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Triple F. If you could please drop a like on our Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter, that would be massively appreciated. Hope you're all keeping safe, and thanks again for listening to the Triple F.